Kindness flows with gentle boundaries. Freedom breathes within this circle. Open circle, we are here. Open circle, drawing near. We unlearn what once confined us. We remember who we are. Kindness given without condition. Freedom held with quiet strength. Open circle, we are here. Open circle, drawing near. You are welcome in this space. You are safe to simply be. Take your time and find your voice, or just rest in quiet presence. Open circle, we are here. Open circle, drawing Open circle, holds us now. Open circle, soft and true. Open circle, breathing slow. Open circle, we are. Open circle, holds us now. Open circle, soft and true. Open circle, breathing slow. Open circle, we are here.
Hello. Good evening, good day, wherever you are in the world, on the planet. I send you my greetings. Very happy to have everybody here. So I say welcome, or we say welcome to the Open Circle. Saturday is a bit different normally from the Wednesday Open Circle, or the Open Circle that we have during the week. But this particular one is different, and that's intentional. I can tell you that the peninsula is rainy, and there are gusts of wind outside, and plants and trees blowing accordingly. But I want to also just say that things are a little bit different for another reason. It's intentional. The most candid, honest thing we can do is not push through at full strength, but to speak exactly from where we are. And today, tonight, or in the morning, wherever it is that we in our particular time zone, I just wanted to speak about something that many of us here comprehend, or you could say understand. Not just intellectually, but physically, emotionally, and spiritually. If you want to say psycho-spiritually, psychophysically, you know, that link. That's what is felt. Because what happens when you tell the truth inside a system that just cannot afford to hear it? There is an idea often repeated that if you see wrongdoing, especially something as serious as harm to vulnerable, to a child, you report it and the system responds. The justice follows the truth. Evidence speaks, or what you think you have as evidence speaks. And this is where it develops, because many of us have lived something very different. We've learned that in certain closed systems, truth is not the highest value. I'm going to repeat that. In certain systems, I'm going to say, in my opinion, negative, high control systems, truth is not the highest value. Protection is. Reputation is. Continuity is. And when those things are threatened, not by wrongdoing itself, but by the exposure of wrongdoing, the one who speaks up can become the problem. So what happens? At first there might be silence. Time goes on. Then minimization. And that can come in all sorts of forms. Speaking over, I'm going to say slander, reputational damage. Okay? Not just accidental. I'm going to venture very deliberately done this way. And so that gets to not just minimization, but from minimization to reframing. So language begins to shift. You enter into a room where you believed there was some kind of principled love or some kind of principled respectability. That room, the language in that room shifts. If you want to say, the spirit in that room shifts. So what was seen clearly becomes alleged. What was documented, even tied into with witnesses, becomes misunderstood. Oh, we must misunderstand this situation. What was urgent becomes procedural. What was directed, suddenly those persons that directed things become inaccessible, uncontactable. Emails get blocked. Telephone numbers get blocked. Pathways to communication get blocked. And so you could say gradually, sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's slow, but the whole process from how I'm describing here, to many I would believe is almost imperceptible. So reality itself begins to feel like, oh, it's slipping. Of course, I have commented, I'd say that times are a-changing. But let's just paint this picture, because what I'm describing comes to this deeper layer, and I don't want to muddy it too much. It's the social response. People have known for years. People have known for years But those ones in the know affect the society. And so what you've grown up with, what you believe to be your tribe, your institution, your religion, your friends, your family, begins to withdraw. Not always with hostility, but with distance, with caution, with that subtle unspoken message. I'm going to say that message is, you've made things complicated. You've made things convoluted. And I'm going to go further. You are dangerous. And in systems where belonging is tied to agreement, where it's tied to survival, livelihood, and our children are very key here. They're the future. They are tied to our most intimate procreative power, our deepest psychology. But in this system where belonging is tied to agreement, where identity is tied to loyalty, where distance
Hi, Matthew.
in your relationships grows, that very distancing carries enormous weight. Now, this is where many people begin to feel something physically, not just emotional distress, but actual physical symptoms: exhaustion, nausea, disorientation. Because the body is trying to process something the mind may be struggling to reconcile. Hello, Sheila. How are you?
I'm fine.
Can you hear me all right?
A little bit of turn, yeah. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to see if the usual echo cancellation is on. It sounds like it is.
Yes,
How are you doing over there in the UK, Sheila?
Fine.
Good to be with you.
And you? I've been looking forward to this.
Okay, good. Yeah, we also look forward to this. And, sometimes it's, just to, how can I say, get the circle or the wheel moving with a introductory video. That's not important. It's the contact with people. So I see Peps is saying, I never, I guess, heard the end of your talk. Or maybe I'm in trouble. Maybe that was a bad call, turning it off. I don't know. But I put the people as more important than Matt prattling on.
I enjoy your prattling on.
Yeah. Now I wonder why I'm not.
I can't see you.
I wonder why I'm not appearing in the stream, because
I don't know.
it is supposed to be on.
Oh, I can see you now.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there's Peps.
How come it just popped up? I don't know.
Oh, there. Put the
Hello.
hex on it.
Hi, Peps.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you. Can
Am
you
I-
hear us?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Yeah. I had that.
Anything to report from the UK, Peps? How's Birmingham?
Bad. Yeah, I haven't been well. Mate, let's put it's it's echo again.
You're breaking up.
Let me
Sheila, can you hear Peps, or is it
I
just
can.
me?
It's breaking. No, it's breaking up. Peps is breaking up.
wait there.
Hang on. What's
It's
going
at
on,
the
Peps? We
top
can
of
hear
them
you now.
shutters.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wait there. Let me just try something.
What did you do that's different?
Is that better?
Yeah,
Yes.
you sound great.
Yeah.
In fact, that's very good.
That
What have you done, Peps? Whatever you did just now, it was good.
but
Now it's kind of reverted back.
Yeah.
got it.
You sound like you're at the Wheel Tapperton Shunters Social Club.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's concerned about my talk or whatever, I have apologies. Number one, I haven't been in good shape, but the live stream, I had a problem with it.
Right.
Had a technical problem, so I started it on the half hour, but I could see that it wasn't coming through properly, so I just had to cut it and start again. I think these live streams are quite challenging on the technical side, but I just created another one on the fly, just a rush live stream. But glad that you kind of discerned that there was a technical difficulty and persevered.
If at first you don't succeed, try
Yeah.
again.
That's a good bit of advice.
It's sad news, isn't it? Can you hear me?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, it's sort of gone back to its echo. Peps, not sure why.
Just to tell you what, Matt, I'm going to sign out and then I'll sign back in.
Oh, that's all right at the minute.
All right,
Okay.
Peps. Well, we're here for you, actually. Yeah. So, Sheila, what can we talk about? So it's been quite a bit of news this week, eh?
Yes, I've got mixed feelings about Norway, whether it's good or bad. Because I did put on one or two of the chats, give a man enough rope and he'll hang himself.
I feel Norway's made a mistake.
Yes, and I think they've realised that.
And there's something behind the scenes that isn't going right. And I don't feel good about it. I'm not celebrating. In fact, it was one of those things, I wasn't feeling good this way or feeling good that way. There's complex reasons for that, because it's like if they had, let's say they had clamped down and said, no, you're not getting your subsidy, right? Which is what that was about.
Yeah.
It was going to be bad. It was going to be bad. But they tried to keep the status quo. They, by the sounds of it, they had 5 judges. 2 of them dissented.
Yeah.
Which means that one that swung it to the majority, you can already see that the Supreme Court is not content about it. And in fact, they've made that public, that 2 judges dissented, because this is my feeling, and it's only my opinion, is that they can see it coming. They can see consequences coming. And it's like they said, no, we were so close to it going the other way. it was just that one person, and on our records, they were going, and it's like they bought time to just keep their authority going. Now, I want to read Jay Mars's comment because he always comes up with really discerning commentary. And I really appreciate John being there. And
Yes.
sometimes I feel I don't give him enough attention. And John is right on the forefront of what's happening. So let me read his comment. It says, Norway was not really a legal victory for the Watchtower because its reputation is sinking in Europe.
Yes.
And then Sheila, I see you agree with him. Yes.
Mm. And that's what I feel. There's a lot of attention been brought to Watchtower. Even though they've won the battle, I don't feel they've won the war.
Peps, can I quote your comment? Because
can you hear
there
me?
was what. Go ahead, Peps.
Yeah.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
great.
good.
What's the change, if you don't mind me asking?
I've got a headset on.
Makes a world of difference.
Okay.
Peps, do you mind if I can draw from your comment? It was one that you made
Definitely.
during the week, and it had the word flipping in it.
Oh yeah. Instead, I thought I'd use that word. It's a bit.
Do you remember?
Can you just
do you
put
remember
your
the
thumb up?
comment?
Can you still hear me?
Yes, can
Yes.
still hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
Going to boost your sound up a bit. Just going to give you a bit more volume, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
Over to
I
you.
thought I'd say flipping instead of, the
Yes.
other word, naughty word.
Yeah.
Hello,
We've
Colin.
got Colin
Colin's
with us.
Colin's
Hi,
in the
Colin.
room.
Good to be with
Hi.
you, Colin.
Hi, everybody.
I think
Hi,
our
Colin.
sound is more stable today.
Could it
Yes.
be? Maybe we got it. We're getting it.
I think it's a lot better, and I think the secret is headphones.
Yeah, I have got some, but I can't. It won't join up.
But you
Okay.
always sound great, though.
Sheila,
Oh, that.
It always
Yeah.
sounds good.
you chill where you are. You
Don't do
chill where
anything,
you are
Sheila.
because
Don't touch anything, Sheila.
yeah. Colin, thanks for coming on, and also Peps.
Thank you, guys.
But I was just drawing from Peps's
Right
comment,
ahead. Yep.
seeing if we could get you to remember that. Peps, over to you.
Yeah. What did I say now? I can't remember what I said, but
It was them. It was Watchtower going to suddenly put their good news on their website.
yeah. Sorry, I've got an echo again now. Yeah, basically, that's right. My brain's not working tonight.
Okay, I'll put you.
Can you remind me what I said?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the heat.
Sorry,
off
mate, my
you.
brain's gone dead.
No, well, sorry. That's. Can I tell you my brain's? I don't know. You know. But it was basically like, what are they known for doing? They're known for if something swings their way, like they've now got the subsidy, then they're going to go, well,
Yeah.
it's a victory for Jehovah. And your comment, Peps, was, well, how's it a victory for Jehovah when we can see ethically there's vulnerable that Norway will try
Yeah.
to protect? How is this a victory?
Yeah.
How can you
Oh,
go
sure.
in front of God and say, well,
They'll
God,
spin it that way, though.
glory
course.
to you, that there was a legal institutional victory, but now when we know alleged scenarios such as, okay, it's Matt Gray's one that he chirps on about, as long as that exists, it's like litmus paper. It tells you whether the system's working or not. And in my opinion, it's not working. And I'm going to substantiate that. How can you have certain files that are exposed right now, which go into governmental systems, excuse me, enforcement systems, and it's taken so long and for persons to get their comeuppance, and they haven't really got their comeuppance. Am I making sense, or I'm too vague?
No.
No, I think sorry, I've got to keep getting this echo. That's better. Yeah, the point I was trying to make is like the Norwegian. Can you still hear me? Sorry, I keep saying
Yes,
this. Yeah, you can still
Sounding
hear me.
good, Pet.
Yeah, like the
It's
Norwegian
best you've
government.
been.
Not so much the judges that have just decided, but initially, they're, as far as we know, they did what they did because they were trying to protect children. So the fact that the Watchtower have fought tooth and nail against this just really shows the depth of evilness in a way that they've sunk to. Basically what it did for me is, a few weeks ago we went through that talk where it was like, what about if they're right? This has literally just sealed it. If they're willing to do this, because they don't give a damn about children, do they? All they care about is their own reputation. So, they're willing to fight tooth and nail to protect their reputation. And it just shows you that, it just shows you that if there is a God and if there is a devil, they're certainly not on God's side. That's my thoughts on it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin, any thoughts you? Oh, sorry, Sheila.
No, that's right. Let Colin
Colin,
speak.
you got some pretty clear-minded thoughts. I know that
Well,
we've been using this thing you've taken heat,
yeah.
and been repeating
Well,
that you taking the
think,
heat over there.
Here's the thing. I always like to go back to, in my case, such adulation is never going to happen in my lifetime. It will come later. People will recognize a lot of the things that I've said. It makes me think of, there was a very famous general here in Honduras hundreds of years ago. His name was Francisco Morazan, and he was one of the founding fathers, and he went on this quest to his vision was to create the Central American Confederacy. It would be one country. All of Central America would be one country. And of course, he was eventually killed because of that. But he said before he was executed, the posterity will prove me right. So I always keep that saying. I live by that. Posterity will prove me right. And how right he was. But anyway, I think I've got some info I can share with you guys here that might shed some light on this a little bit. Since right now, interestingly, right after this verdict, the governing body update number 3 is up on jw.org. Very conveniently placed. And I think a couple of things are going on here. First of all,
Yeah.
Matthew, this is going to blow your mind. I don't know if you remember, but when you came on my live stream the other day, I don't know if you remember this because you might not have been at 100% with your, headaches that you were having that day and everything. But
That wasn't good.
I don't know. I think you mentioned. I have to go back and watch it again to make sure because it was just a brief part where somebody made a comment really briefly to the effect of, "I wonder after this verdict, what big purchase is the Watchtower going to make?"
Oh no.
And here it is. It's on, and I literally, the hairs stood up on my arms because I was like, are we prophets? Or, we just talked about this. And so literally, let's see, what day is today? Today's Saturday, right? So 2 days ago, this verdict came out.
Yeah.
And on update number 3, Mark Sanderson announces that they just finalized, and they gave a picture, and it's on my thumbnail. I have the picture of it. This enormous complex in Denmark, of all places, Denmark.
Next to
Which
Norway.
very much, Denmark is very much in line with Norway and their views and their politics, and this huge complex, which they said they had been in the works of buying it for quite some time, but they had just finalized. And I thought, how convenient that 2 days after this verdict, like they were just waiting. I think Denmark didn't want to sell them. They didn't want to close the deal until they knew 100% that the verdict was going to be favorable, because they didn't want to seem like they were, in cahoots with some organization that takes away people's human rights. Well, no, they don't have to worry about it. And so that was amazing. I thought that just blew my mind when I saw that. The other thing is something we talked about as well. One of the a couple entities that Watchtower has on their site in Europe, and they showed a picture of it as well, is the European Court of Human Rights. And the problem is, like I mentioned during the live stream, about this political issue of these democratic countries not doing anything that would make it look like they're in line with an enemy like Russia, for example. And so what has happened? Well, they painted themselves into a corner, because both the European Court of Human Rights and the UN entity, the UN has its own Department of Human Rights, both of those have energetically condemned Russia for banning Jehovah's Witnesses in Russia. So, of course, what would it look like? What would it look like for the European Court if Norway, one of their allies, one of the NATO, they're in line with the United States as well, what would it look like if all of a sudden Norway decided to limit the Jehovah's Witnesses, defund them, and all of a sudden that puts them more in line with what Russia is doing? There's no way that was going to happen. There's absolutely no way. I'm very, very sure that at some point behind closed doors, there was a very heated discussion between the magistrates about this issue, of how are we going to, if we make this decision this way, then everyone's going to say, oh, we're going the way of communism, we're going the way of Russia. If we make this step and we're going to be the first country of this ideology, right, democratic ideology, to actually, because no other democratic nation has ever done anything, that's the problem. The Court of Human Rights historically has always been in favor of the witnesses. That's on the record. So it would have been a big departure for them to side with Norway. And what was amazing about it was the optic that Mark Sanderson is giving this is he's saying, which it's a total contradiction, because he says, look what the European Court of Human Rights did. They studied our beliefs and decided that it's in accordance with local law, Norwegian law, and international law. When at the same time, right before the magistrates adjourned for deliberation, they told the head prosecutors that, all you've done is, the only evidence you've showed us is from Watchtower's own literature and belief system. And yet at the same time, they did the same thing. So it's this whole, like you said, Matthew, at the beginning, something's not right. This whole thing is a big convoluted mess of how they came to this decision. And I'm pretty sure, like you said, in order to at least hold on to their power and stay in line, not cause waves, and stay in line with the ideologies and political views of the rest of their allies, they let two of them, or at least one at least, can dissent, and to give it the illusion of that, well, somebody was against it, but we still prevailed.
It does seem like a conspiracy, doesn't it?
There's a lot going on here. Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a conspiracy. Yes.
Colin, I actually
I
started
can share my.
relaxing while you were talking.
He's spot
No,
on.
really, I actually started to
I think I
unwind
can-
a bit.
I think I can share my screen here, can I?
Yeah, give it a go.
Yeah.
If you've
Let
got
me
the
let me show
option.
you this. Let me show you this picture.
All right, it'll
Let's
just come
see
up
here. I'm gonna
automatically.
share. Yeah. Ventana, pantalla completa. Let's see here. All right, we'll just do this. All right. I think. You know what? No, guys, hold on.
Infinity.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work.
No panic.
Let me just see.
Colin. No, just
Yeah.
relax.
You guys-
This is,
Yeah, you
we're
guys,
kind
you
of
guys
used
go
to
ahead.
each other here, and
Yeah.
you just if you're clear-minded on what to do there, then just go ahead. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. I have to send it to myself. The problem is I don't have it on my computer.
Okay.
The picture.
You
So
want to
go
talk
ahead
us
and
through it?
yeah. So anyway, yeah. Let me find. Guys, I got to do this the old-fashioned way, so bear with me. Yeah, I was just really surprised how, we as you said, Matthew, kind of in a jovial way on the live stream, to create a little bit of lightness, that how well we know their their way of operating, right?
Yes.
How well we know how they operate, and the fact that we just basically in a passing way mentioned about them purchasing something,
Mm.
and here we are 2 days later, and this is a reality.
So it's the
I
pattern
mean-
recognition, isn't it?
You can, oh my goodness, I mean, it's almost like you can read their minds. They're so predictable.
Well, Linda James came up with something that was resonating in my mind and saying, well, you've got a group of 8 or 9 million, and it came up during the week. And by the way, I used an old live stream description because of things just not working tonight. But in the
Yeah.
description, I had originally put down, at the advice of ChatGPT, this is open circle experiments. And Linda James,
Mhm.
bell goes off. Experiments? What? No, we've been experimented on enough. She didn't say that, but that's what it's what popped into my mind. I'm going, yes, good point. This, by the
Yeah.
way, this is when we say experiments. I say experiments with the sound and experiments with video. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
experimenting on
Not
the
on each other.
on the
But
people.
people are like,
We've
ready to
had
go off, so-
enough.
Yeah.
yeah, leave us alone.
Yeah. So,
Hey,
so Linda Jones, if
you
you're
guys-
listening, there, we're not I'm not experimenting on anybody. Yeah,
How
okay.
can I do that? Can I
Hey.
do this?
Was
Oh,
you
here we go.
guys
Let me try
surprised
this.
how easily the judges were fooled?
Do you think
Yeah.
they were fooled, Pips?
Yeah, like when you read the what decision they came to, it's like they didn't do any research. They just believed what was being told, but they didn't actually look any deeper.
I think they got a
I was
slap
just
over the
shocked.
wrist and were told fall in line. That's what I think happened.
Mm.
Because you'll notice it was 2 judges dissenting.
Yeah.
In other words, if this goes bad, which it's only my sense that there's something behind the scenes that hasn't gone good. They've paid out the money to JW, but it hasn't gone good. Somebody is very aware that it could go this way, and it's like it's coming back to bite them, but they're trying to buy time because this thing can have a domino effect. And they went, this is the best choice. And it was like there was a hidden intervention that came to these 5 judges and said, look, just get 2 dissenting, have 3 majority, because we can always come back and say, oh, it was so close to it going the other way. Remember, this is a dilemma situation. So it was almost like, well, let's flip a coin. It doesn't actually matter about the logic. Just flip a coin. It's a dilemma. All that the Supreme Court has to do is get the state out of this state dilemma. That's all it has to do. And this thing was about pay the money. And they were going, it's worth it to actually pay the money, which tells you that there's an even bigger cost. If Norway is prepared to pay JW that amount, then they'd worked out the numbers and said the cost is even worse if we don't do this. Colin, is your system back online?
Oh, that's
Okay,
it.
let me see here.
Hello.
Yeah, are we still getting the infinity?
We
Okay.
see ourselves infinitely.
That's
In the
that's not
infinite
going to
circle.
work. Let's see
Colin,
here.
keep playing around.
I think
with
it did
fine.
work a
I'm
minute ago.
Cool. You know that by now.
I thought when I think it was Sanderson the other week, he reiterated the talk when they first won in Norway. They won the appeal. Why would he come on and say that, like just before before the verdict was actually given? I just thought it was a little bit. I don't know. I'm not going to say too much, but it does make me wonder. Because they're all men. They're all corporate people.
Did you ever see that picture of
They're
Mark
in each other's
Sanderson
pockets.
standing in the court in Russia in front of the Byzantine Empire 2 eagles?
Mm,
Isn't that an
No.
interesting picture?
absolutely.
Um,
Do you think there's anything to the
Can you
fact
see?
that Mark
Can you see
Sanderson's
this?
wearing
No,
the tie
can't see it.
of the Norwegian flag?
absolutely. Yeah,
That
very
was a
definitely.
signal.
Yes, it's a signal. He's signaling. Correct.
Yeah.
Here's another thing, Peps. I will tell you that my channel. So when I do a stream, I will put the talk that I do, the introductory talk. I'll put it later on, and I'll say that that's a
Okay.
replay, so that if there's any kind of fluctuation in the stream, you've got a clean talk, right?
Okay.
So I did
Yeah.
that. YouTube rejected it. It gave me.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
rejected
What
it.
was the title?
And it was that walk in the park. It was my walk in the park.
Strange.
Yeah, wait, I'll tell you
Mm-hmm.
what happened. So YouTube said you didn't get a YouTube strike, you got something different. It says your video has been restricted in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
So my walk
Oh.
in the park, because I think you came on, Colin. There were a few that came on. That live stream didn't get gonged. What got gonged was just the first part that I re-uploaded, and YouTube says no, we won't allow this through. You have to cut out these portions.
Wow.
So I went and took a look at these portions that were there, and I'm going, but it's the same portions that are in the live stream. Why? And so it made some claim. So I investigated it, and the claim is bizarre. It's really bizarre. Colin's nodding his head. He knows. So I had to go through the AI and say, well, why is this happening? I can't see an image. I mean, I generate my own artwork. If there is something, it's all free open source stuff. So what was it? And it says, oh, it's your sound. You've got music on your channel, right? So I go, yeah, but that's my music. I put that together. There's no copyright on that. That's my own stuff. It's published here in South Africa. I'm very careful about this. So it says, oh, no, there's some fun. There's a group. And it sounds like it's a Spanish group, Colin.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow it got registered in Russia, and it came back, and it's come back with an ID claim on my video. because I said there's no visual. They go, yeah, there's no visual. There's no audio. It's all mine. And they said, no, it's an embedded code that somehow. So I said, why didn't my live stream go down when it's got the same piece in it? And they said, no, we think something happened in Russia between the Spanish and the Russians, and they put in a code and it changed it, and it's like somebody is claiming that your work is their work.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing,
Ah.
right? I
Wow.
thought, this is one to talk about.
Huh.
Yeah.
So
That is wild.
Had to have
Yeah.
listened to that.
So I'm
That is wild.
keeping the live stream up because that is evidence that my work is all intact.
Yeah.
Anyway, I couldn't fight it. I just took the video down, and I put another video up with the core.
And that's unbelievable because you're not monetizing it even.
Yeah, I'm not monetized even.
Wow.
Very
Boy,
interesting, right?
they're interested in
Somebody
you.
knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
I think
watching
that
you.
was flagged by AI or an actual human.
It's a good question, Peps, because apparently it's this very obscure band. It's a very obscure band. When I go onto it and I go, well, what's the music? And they said, oh, no, this music is owned by Sony. So I play it, and it's like some guys at I don't know, a Honduras club or something, Colin. It's bizarre stuff. And it's not any. It's not.
Nothing.
Nothing like yours.
It's like
Yeah.
I'm being pranked.
Oh my goodness.
When
Maybe
I'm
you are.
listening, I know what is this? It's not
Oh,
even
my word.
remotely close.
Nothing close. Yeah.
I suppose that's
Some
the trouble. That's the
sombreros.
trouble with AI music. It steals music off everybody else, doesn't it?
Or yeah. They're looking.
This
They're,
it can't. Not this piece because
No, I don't mean it sort of gets inspiration from all of the tracks around the world.
maybe. But I mean, my music I've been working on since the Zimbabwe Academy of Music since the 90s. And all I've done is I might have used more modern systems like Audacity. And yes, I realize these things are connected to an AI now. So even if you do put in a sample or something like that, you've got to be very careful with those kind of things. But I really exhausted it. And they say there's some kind of embedded ID number that was in there, and I'm going, this is far too complicated for me to understand why. I'm just going to take the video down, make a note of the circumstances, but my paranoid brain just went wild on it.
oh yeah.
But there was
because-
another factor. I got
Unbelievable.
contacted, and I don't mean to alarm all of you, but guess who contacted me, or looks like they contacted me last week prior to the announcement?
No idea.
JW's research department.
Mm.
So do you think they're watching these videos?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
They
For sure.
they contacted me about anything but the main issue. Oh, hi, Matt. We just thought we'd drop you a line. Da 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 da. Friendly. After they cut me off and locked my number out. Then last week they unlocked it and made contact.
Mm.
And I just
That's
look at
like
this-
the. Oh, Matthew, this is like the toxic ex. You know
What's
that unblocks you when she wants to,
Oh,
and
yeah.
contacts you and then blocks you again. You know. What do they want?
Silence.
Pretending to be friendly.
Yeah. Trying to get some info out of you.
This one puzzles me. The only thing I can think of is they're so confident with the Norway thing
Yeah.
that they decided, no, we'll just contact you because your issue is about
Corporal.
child protection and a potential liability. And so we now know we can say anything from the platform. It's the parent who acts on it who will go to or get in trouble with the law,
Hmm.
not us. So now we can
Yeah,
contact you.
they feel emboldened.
Yes. But I'm
This will
speculating.
involve them even more,
Colin.
won't it? This decision.
Matthew, can you see? I did a file share. Can you see anything on your screen? Box.
What's this? It says add to calendar. Oh,
I shared a picture that you should be able to open.
I see an infinity screen and I see a fifth
Hey, look,
person
someone else joining.
coming onto the live stream.
Somebody else just came on.
I don't know how many more people we can
Hello.
get on before this gives up.
Yeah.
Hello, Claudia.
Oh,
Hi.
Claudia.
Hey, Claudia.
You sound smooth, Claudia. How do you do in Jersey?
iPhones, these microfeeding. How do you call them? These
Hello.
the forbidden
Okay,
fruit.
I've gone all giggly and I can just sense I'm heading for trouble. Claudia, it's good to have you with us.
Don't worry, I would never call you coaches online live.
Oh, yeah.
I would never say that you were
Okay.
coaches.
Got it.
I wouldn't.
You'll go red.
So don't be afraid.
But you just
thank you
did.
very much. Good to have you.
No, I
with
said
us.
I wouldn't. And I wouldn't. I keep my word.
So
These
that
men
was,
are all gorgeous, Claudia.
there's a third thing I can tell you. Does anybody use Watchtower Library app? No. Once we cut off, that was it. Yeah. Yes, Claudia. Yeah. And so, yeah, I thought about that too. So an interesting thing happened to me because I still do have that app. And the other day I wanted to just pull up a bit of information and it locked me out.
Oh.
Yes, this is an interesting new electronic development, and I thought it's worth just bringing it to your attention because it means I have to read a long letter from the organization, and I have to agree to this contract with Watchtower Society.
An NDO.
Yeah, and so I just left it. I've gone, well, that's the end of that. So I thought I'd also bring that to your attention. So that all happened last week.
They're afraid of
Yeah.
leakage of information. Absolutely. That's a good thing, though. That's a good sign because that means that number one, I think it's confirming what we've always known and suspected, which is they do have people that are watching our videos. We know that, and they know that the work that the community is doing does have an effect on the organization. Because I think they know also that there are active members who are watching our videos as well. They know of the PMO problem. They know it exists. They just don't know who the people are, and that's a problem. Internally, in any organization, any business where they know that there are members somewhere within the business that are watching things that they shouldn't be, let's say from the competition, and somebody is leaking information to us, but they don't know who it is.
Well, it goes all the way to the top. That's my observation.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I don't think we can underplay the importance of what we're doing.
Yeah.
So if it was enough, Matthew, for the research department to unblock you, just to kind of, I don't know, maybe directly intimidate you a little bit, they are definitely worried about what you're doing.
It's a
Have you
curious
got a
thing. Of
higher
course, I
access,
just backed it
Matthew?
all up immediately. I just
Mhm.
went, this is
Of course.
worthwhile recording.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, because there's a chain. I don't think they very often find guys like me who've collected the whole chain. I think they got surprised this time that there was so much that over so many years that I had filed away. Of course, you get somebody like Barbara Anderson, who's just an absolute pro. But I think they got very worried when they realized that no, all of this that I'm saying can actually be proven. But like you said, Colin, they're going, we don't even care. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Make it all known. Even bring out videos of us performing. We don't even care. That is how blasé it looks.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, what a puzzle. But
Let me. We're gonna do this I'm gonna try this the old-fashioned way. Let's see if you guys can see this.
Pointed at the screen.
okay. Can you describe that, Colin? Is that the facility?
Yeah, this and it looks really bad.
That's all right.
This is the thing. Yeah, it's not gonna be able to. We're not gonna be able to see it here.
So is this in Denmark?
This is the Denmark facility that they just closed the purchase on 2 days after the verdict. Of all places, Denmark.
Can't be a
Yeah,
coincidence.
pretty elaborate. You can go on. It's on jw.org right now. The update number 3 is there, and it's in the video. But yeah, that's they've been busy. Okay, well, they've been busy.
It's crazy that, and yet they make out they're no part of the world, and yet they're probably deep into the world.
Oh, they're very deep. Yeah, what I would do. I don't want to sound too alarmist here, but I think maybe between all of us we would probably agree, Matthew, since you have the technical capability of doing this,
Yeah.
you might want to make sure you have a plan B where whatever could happen in the future, that there's a way for the information you have to get out to the pertinent authorities. And
I've got a kill switch if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So if there's an unfortunate series of events that happen to me,
Right.
there's a kill switch. Yeah.
right, if something happens to me, this goes to the press, that kind of a thing.
Yeah. But I think they don't even care about that either. But,
Yeah, probably not.
Claudia looks like she's in the bunker.
Yeah, Claudia's ready already.
We all kind of in subdued light, except for Sheila and Colin. The rest of us are sort of like this clandestine underground movement.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the
nice.
basement of the house. It's a
It shows that they are frightened of
It's
us.
the basement.
Yes,
Nice
Sheila,
house.
you said that it
Yeah.
shows they're frightened of us.
Yes, I think they're. I think we're causing a lot of ripples, and they don't like it. The courts must be watching these channels as well.
Not
Um,
closely
I
enough.
don't think so.
Well, they must be watching them. They're tied up with legalities, but for them to ignore the publications and videos, then they get a comeback from all these channels. And Watchtower are, in my opinion, getting a little bit uppity, because they are big businessmen and we're sort of a nobody, but we can cause a lot of damage.
Jordan Maxwell
I'm
wants to
concerned
explain
for
the
our British
origins of-
Parliament.
Jordan Maxwell wants to explain the origins of Jehovah's Witnesses, and not Rutherford Russell or Russell. And when you look through those videos of Jordan Maxwell and you find the name Rothschild,
Yes.
then nobody has to be afraid on that side.
Yes. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Jehovah's Witnesses are the battlefield. They are the test pool, the pool group for the New World Order, for Christian Zionism. They're Zionists. They didn't know Zion's Watchtower.
Zion's Watchtower, yeah.
Of
Mount
course.
Zion.
Matthew, check
This
your
is the battle. It's a testament
your
for the New
email.
World Order.
Okay. Looking at
Yeah,
my
check your
email,
email.
Colin.
I sent you the photo.
Okay. I can see it. Let's take a look.
Is it a big complex?
Oh. GB update number 3. Yeah. So we consider the endurance of our brothers and sisters in Russia since the ban 9 years ago. Also, we announced the release of episodes 4, 5, 6 of the Good News According to Jesus. Yes.
Yeah, that's the
Now,
picture of the complex there.
Okay. Let me see if I can download that. Yeah, it's a
Wonder how much
JPEG.
that cost.
Yeah, I'm sure it was not cheap.
No.
It is quite a place. Quite a that's some prime real estate in Denmark.
Is it more video stuff?
Yeah, so the update number 3 is mostly they're focusing on the upcoming district conventions, and they have new videos that go along with that they have to download beforehand.
Right.
And one thing that was kind of interesting, which is kind of too little too late for us, for our generations, is that they have new videos of Bible accounts for children. And Sanderson said that the Bible accounts are quite strong, and so the videos are strong as well. However, we've made sure that they're not too graphic for children. So the parents have to watch the videos first, and they can control the access of the children to these videos. They have to do it together. And so I thought, well, okay. I mean, that's good after they traumatized how many generations of us.
Yeah.
With the
That so they can't say, they can say it's the parents' fault for letting them watch.
right. Well, I mean, back when I was growing up, it was just there were no controls. That was the literature, the physical books that we saw these depictions of,
Definitely.
the demons and Armageddon and the 4 horsemen and all those wonderful images.
Yeah, I mean, how many times did we go through the Revelation book?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
About 4 or 5 times.
Is the Christian champion for me or for all of us?
It's just you. You keep going in and out. Yeah, I don't know why. I thought you left for a moment. I was like, whoa, what happened? They got to Claudia. Ah.
Yeah, silenced.
Yeah. So yeah, it was interesting that some years ago.
I said the wrong word. I said the wrong word. The one word.
Yes.
The one word.
Speaking of scary technology, I was working. This was back in 2017-18, and I was working on the construction project of the new international airport here in Honduras. And there was lots of things that went on in that project, violations and just all kinds of things. And I was in charge of the security and the industrial safety aspect of that project. So I had to document everything having to do with personnel and any accidents and things of that nature. And there was a lot of shady stuff going on in the project. So I had lots of emails. I made copies of everything. I had emails, pictures, videos. And after I was there for 2 years, when they decided to axe me, they fired me. And about 2 or 3 days later, the scariest thing was I had a USB. I had a USB drive with all of my backed up files and all those things, the emails and the pictures and reports, and it was erased. It was empty. Everything was gone.
To do that?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think what I conjecture is that their IT departments can encrypt code into all of the because we were working through their Wi-Fi system. So any data, anything that was downloaded, any pictures, any emails, everything was tagged. Everything was copied, and then there's a code encrypted into it, where if that person is terminated from the company within a certain amount of time, the files auto-destruct. They erase themselves.
And that was an external
yeah.
USB.
That's what was scary. It was an external memory stick that I had.
Yeah.
And then when one time I wanted to go back to look for some information on there, it was all gone.
Yeah.
It had all been erased. So the technology's out there. So I wouldn't be
So that's where
surprised.
you need to back things up.
Yeah, evidently, it's. I'm sure Watchtower is dabbling in some of that, seeing all of the the leakage of hemorrhage of information that's coming out of there.
Yes. But Peps is correct, because you start to learn to using secondary systems, like you take a photograph with a camera. Or
Yeah.
You have maybe a cell phone to record something on your screen rather than a recorder going through your computer.
Exactly.
I mean, look how we've had to learn that. It's incredible that we had to get to the stage, right?
Matthew, we learned that we were Jehovah's Witnesses. We learned that you couldn't trust anybody, that you could be as harmless and honest as possible. If the wrong person said the wrong thing about you, you were in front of a committee. We learned this East Germany, communism, the Stasi, the entire way of how to protect yourself every day long. Didn't you all? Were you always ever honest to brothers and sisters when you had personal problems? People could always twist it, turn it around.
Yeah.
So, if anything, now with all these corona times and people, the big waking up and all this, I always said to them, I was all my life awake. We knew all this all from the start. We always knew the demons are watching you all the time. So when the mobile phone came, I knew what a demon was. The demon was clever. If the demon was there before the mobile phone and before AI, do you think the demons have now run out of business? No, they're now in all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, as JW and XJW, if anything, we are far more aware of all the dangers of internet and the dangers of not trusting anybody, because we never could trust anybody.
Oh, who's left? Did Claudia get censored? Claudia, you're back.
No. It was you.
We lost Colin.
Oh boy.
Is the streaming
No, we lost
still
you, Matt.
up? Oh, have I disappeared?
It was
You
you that
have
froze. Yeah.
We heard Claudia.
Yeah. Everybody here was normal. It was you. So we were scared for a second. But,
Am I back?
Exactly, we are all normal, it was you. Sorry, he said it.
Yeah, we found out.
Back.
We found out that
Yes, you are,
the demons were actually the people.
Yeah, and that's
I
not
think that
anti-biblical. I mean, if Judas is inhabited by the devil and sitting at the table with Christ, what does that tell you?
Now, who is this? There's another square opened up here, but
Let's take
is that
a
you
look.
again?
No,
Hi.
it isn't. Hello.
Can you hear me? Hi, this is the
I can
prophet
hear you.
Linda James.
I'm going to cover over wherever you
Oh,
appear.
it's Linda. It's Linda.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, Linda.
Hello.
Hi. You were speaking about Barbara Anderson. She shared something earlier in the week with me and a couple of other people, and I'm sure other places as well. And I thought to myself, I can't wait to share it on here. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute, I need to go ask if this is shareable. And she just gave me the okay to share it. And it's from someone else. Can I just take a minute or two to read it? Because it is about the Norway.
You're very welcome.
Or are you guys in the middle? I can wait.
No, I think
Did I
you're
interrupt?
Hear it.
used to off-the-fly kind of thing.
Okay.
Thanks. Sounds great. We're all ears.
So, okay, yeah, I just went to her Facebook page to see who she was. And I'm not friends with her yet, so I just gave her a friend request. And this is what she wrote. For those feeling discouraged about the April 30th, 2026 ruling from the Supreme Court of Norway, take a step back and look at what actually happened, and more importantly, what didn't happen. Yes, the court ruled in favor of the Watchtower, also known as Jehovah's Witnesses. But that decision was not a declaration that shunning is harmless, justified, or beyond scrutiny. It was a much narrower ruling about whether the state acted lawfully in withdrawing the benefits. The court focused heavily on principles tied to Article 9 of the European Convention on Human Rights, the protection of religious freedom, and concluded that the government overstepped in penalizing a religious group on that basis. What the court did not do is just as important. It did not rule on whether shunning violates the human rights of individuals. It did not weigh the lived experiences of those who lose family, community, and identity. It did not decide whether institutional practices cross the line into harm. The question remains open, and that is where the real significance of this moment lies. Because of this, because if this moves to the European Court of Human Rights, which I believe it will, the entire focus shifts. The case is no longer about a government versus a religion. It becomes about individuals, meaning humans, versus an institute. It stops being about whether a state can deny funding and becomes about whether human beings have their fundamental rights violated. And that is where the ground changes. In Norway, the legal lens is primarily Article 9, the right to hold and practice religious beliefs. That is where what is strongest. But at the European level, former Jehovah's Witnesses bring forward something far more powerful. Article 8 of the European Convention of Human Rights. That article protects private life, family life, personal relationships, and psychological integrity. It is not about belief. It is about impact. The arrangement then becomes clear and difficult to ignore. This is not about doctrine. This is about institutionally enforced behavior that reaches into the most intimate parts of a person's life. When a system requires people to cut off contact with those who leave, when results in family separate, social isolation, and miserable psychological harm, that is no longer just theology. It is interference with human relationships. And here is why this ruling actually puts former members in a stronger position moving forward. The Norwegian case has already done the hard work of building a factual record. Watchtower's own publications describing avoidance were examined. Were examined. Testimony about the real world effects of shunning was heard. The state itself framed the issue in terms of protecting the right to leave a religion without suffering undue consequences. That language aligns directly with Article 8, even if the court did not formally rule on it. The tension between rights have already been acknowledged. Let me say that again. The tension between rights have already been acknowledged, even in defending its position. Norway argued that religious freedom must be balanced against the rights and freedom of others. That balancing act is exactly what the European Court of Human Rights is designed to evaluate. And importantly, that court is not bound by Norway's conclusion. It does not simply defer to national rules. It re-examines whether an interference with private and family life is justified, necessary, and proportionate. So, while this may feel like a loss on the surface, it is not a step backwards. It is a shift in arena. A-R-E-N-A. A shift in arena from a place where Watchtower is most protected to a place where its practices face their strongest scrutiny. Former Jehovah's Witnesses would not have started from scratch. They would be walking into Strasbourg with a developed evidentiary record with acknowledged rights, conflicts, and with legal framework that centers not belief, but harm. I feel like I'm losing this. Sorry, guys.
No, you're doing well,
that's enough.
James.
Thank you. Okay, let me start this again. Acknowledged. They would be walking into Strasbourg with a developed evidentiary record, with acknowledged rights, conflicts, and with a legal framework that centers not belief, but harm. They do not need to argue that the theology is wrong. They only need to show that the practice, as enforced, violates fundamental human rights. And that reaffirming changes everything. It moves the discussion away from religious identity and into human impact, always from abstract freedom and into lived consequences, away from belief and directly into behavior. So don't see this moment as a defeat. See it for what it really is, the groundwork being laid. The question that matters most was never answered by the Norwegian court. It is still waiting, and it is far more difficult to dismiss. This isn't the end of the road. It's the point where the road finally leads somewhere that can't be avoided, no matter how badly Watchtower wishes it can. Peace and love to you all. So I thought that was amazing that, we're all kind of discouraged, but there's a paper trail, there's documentation that when things get brought up again to the European Court of Human Rights, we've already got stuff established.
Well written.
I think so too, so that's why I wanted to share it with you all.
Thank you.
It does give hope.
She's an excellent writer.
She is. Yes, Claudia? Hi, Claudia. Did you want to say something?
What you read was wonderful, but we need to understand the world. And the world is based on the principle that the Vatican pretends that the Pope is stands for God on earth, and everything belongs to the Pope. And the Pope gives every country the right to rule their country, so they obey the Pope. The countries then decide who is allowed to be a religion. So these religions have to bow down in front of the countries, to bow down in front of the Pope. In between is the Queen of England, by the way. So in the moment when Jehovah's Witnesses became a legal religion, part of Babylon the Great, they became submissive towards the government of their country, which is submissive towards the Pope and the Vatican, and therefore Jehovah's Witnesses belong to the Vatican. And if belong in some part of the chain, sorry, I'm German, my English is not always perfect when I...
No, you sound great. I'm hearing you and I'm following you. Go ahead.
But if I was to prepare, it would sound far better. Yeah.
No, you're doing
okay,
well,
no.
Claudia.
You belong to the
I'm
part of the
following
chain.
along.
You belong,
Okay.
in the moment Jehovah's Witnesses become a religion, they belong to the chain that leads to the Vatican. And the Vatican keeps its money protected. A lot of money will go to the Vatican. You don't just get the money for nothing. The money is taken from the people, given to the governments. The governments give it then to the NGOs, the free word organizations, NGOs. And Jehovah's Witnesses or something like that. And in the end, it all lands for the Vatican. So the moment they became a religion, they are untouchable. And in Norway, it was just about money, but we don't care about money. I've been in this fellowship for over 30 years. The people that I still love have long been buried. I didn't even go to the funeral, or there might be no people's home. I don't know, I can't visit them. It's not about money. They've stolen our lives. Okay, God was nice to me. I've got a nice life, but I haven't seen my children in many years. My mother, I'm glad I don't have to see her. I haven't seen her more than 10 years. But all the people I once cared about, I haven't seen in 30 years. And all the people I meet nowadays, I can't care about them anymore because I've lost so many already. And this is, there is no price to this. No price on earth pays what these people go through, what we went through. We've become superheroes, undestroyable, we are untouchables. But there is no price on our suffering. And the suffering the younger people are now going through. And so your letter is fantastic, it's great. But at the same time, it's nothing.
Oh, nothing? Okay. I did hear what you're saying, and I'm in agreement that the Pope, the Vatican, that's a theocracy, meaning a government ruled by the God of the Bible. The Watchtower claims, of course, to be a theocracy as well, so they claim to be the government that is ruled by the God of the Bible, right?
No, they became a legal religion. Therefore, they had to bow down in front of the Vatican to be accepted as a legal religion. And
I'm sure you're correct about that.
Religion, you belong to the Vatican.
Okay.
You're part of the demons of Babylon the Great, of Satan, of the evil.
Okay.
We want to protect them all. We want to help them. We want to stop what's being done to the children. I was one of these children, these sexual abuse children.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
And now we don't have to be sorry. It's a long time ago, more than 50 years ago now. But think of the hundreds of thousands of children it was done to ever since. And ever since Jehovah's Witnesses have become a religion, they have become unstoppable. That's what you need to understand.
Yeah, I refuse that. I'm going to declare that I do hear what you're saying, and everything you're saying has that validity to it. And you're right. I'm sure they did bow down to the Catholic Church. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm sure they did to get to be a legal religion. I'm sure that did happen, even though I'm not aware of the steps and everything. The way things go up in the upper echelons and everything. They do. We don't see that. So I'm sure you're very correct in that. But to consider the letter as invalid, this letter gives hope. This letter does bring up some facts about that there has been a paper trail made, that there has been some documentation that's already in the court, and not just any court, the court of the European Union of Human Rights. And what's terrible about the United States is this: children have no human rights here in the United States. Even women have no human rights here in the United States, which is a recent discovery that I'm not very happy about, okay? But you can think that, and I hear why you're saying that, I just think differently, and I just, respectfully disagree. That's why I came on here to share it. That's just my view.
I didn't want to bring people's hopes down. Sorry, I brought people's hopes down. Forgive me.
Okay, I see what you're saying, yeah.
I've been for longer and now our game is being played. Sorry.
You know what, though? I hear what you're saying. I've watched many court cases, go through them. Stephanie Fessler, one of the gals used to call on my show from this other case with the Montana case, the niece and the aunt. The aunt used to call onto the show different times. And it would go on for years upon years upon years. And sometimes they'll drop a case, and even that can be discouraging because we were hoping to support them through to the end of whatever the end looks like. Sometimes they have to opt out and do a gag, commit to not speaking about the case, and so that they can receive money, because they've been going through years and they've been needing to see a therapist, or they have seen a therapist and need to pay the therapist back. So it's also strenuous to each time going to court, reliving the incident, especially with a 15-year-old that ended up having to listen to a recording of her fellow Jehovah's Witness male from her Kingdom Hall rape her, okay? And the elders put her through having to listen to this for 5 hours. She begged them to stop. They never stopped. They just kept going. So I've watched not only that whole case go by, but then the 5 judges that were going to end up having to look at it, later. One of those judges was like, let me be honest here, and this was in Utah. I've never seen anything like this, okay? So the atrocities that show up in court are very helpful in future situations. And this particular one in Norway got taken to the European Court of Human Rights. So we've got some information there that confirms what came out of this recent situation to Norway, which has lasted, 2 or 3 years? So, yeah, I do have that hopefulness. And thank you for acknowledging that what you said might take away the hope. And, yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
I don't want to take the hope away from people. I just want the truth to make us free. The truth will make you free. And the truth is not candy floss. The truth is reality. And trust me, I've been in the world for more than 30 years. I had a pretty tough life. But the end was quite amazing. Yet at the same time, I'm waiting for the day that I can finally pass away. Because I could never save the world. I could never end the evil that was happening. But you're talking about the European Court of Human Rights. Have you forgotten what happened during Corona times? Human rights in Europe? Have you lived in Europe in recent years? Human rights? Do you know what happens to a girl who's been multiply raped by these new arrivals here, the brain specialists from Africa? These guys come out free, and the girl is even then evil, and she's right because she said she was raped, and then she's a Nazi. Human rights in Europe? Do you know what Europe is nowadays? Come to Europe, have fun, but don't go out at night. Nobody would. Don't take a bus, don't take a train. Nobody would dare to. That's Europe, and that's human rights. Forgive me.
Yeah, I had XKW Suicides was on the show last weekend mentioning how bad the UK has gotten. And I do need to look into that much more. So thank you for bringing this up.
Who gets a sense?
We have to have some hope. We have to have some hope.
Yeah,
Don't we? I'd just say we have to try and have some hope. Although, if I'm honest, when I read the transcripts of the judges in the judicial system, because didn't seem to understand anything. Didn't seem to understand anything.
Yeah, I think if I could offer you guys and apostate as well. I came upon this information quite a few years ago when I was researching a little bit of information for a video regarding the cases that were going on back then with Montana and all of that.
Mhm.
And to my surprise, and I would invite anybody to do the same. Look at there's documents online that you can look at where it gives you like a spreadsheet of state by state in the United States the age of consent, and
Yes,
it's quite disappointing.
it is. You're right.
After
16.
16, which is for
Same in the
consensual, sex with an adult, also marriage. And that's quite disappointing when I saw that.
Some of it is even at the age of 9.
Yeah, and it's
It's shocking. to
some of
come up
those
with
are not surprisingly some of the southern states, which didn't surprise me. But yeah, and it just anybody here that's a parent and has had teenagers, that 16-year-old is not ready for whether they're physically capable of doing it is one thing, but all the implications that come with a sexual relationship, they're definitely not mature enough
Shouldn't give
to.
him a green light.
No, no, not in the very least. But it just shows us how behind we are still, even in today's world. But I'm afraid that in a lot of ways, I have to agree with Claudia what she's saying, because if you're thinking about how the actual application of human rights in Europe is so bad, imagine in the area I live in, when during the pandemic, it just, people were just disappearing.
Yeah.
There's not a yes. We were locked down for almost 2 years, and this is no exaggeration. This is the reality of what was going on here, where you knew that if you got sick, whatever it was, it didn't matter. During that 2-year period, every other malady, every other sickness ceased to exist. Everything was COVID.
Yes.
So if you, like where I live in Honduras, if you at that time got sick for anything, maybe your blood pressure went up, maybe you stubbed your toe, whatever the case was, if you went to the public hospital, you were not coming out of there unless it was in a box wrapped up in saran wrap. So people were going to the hospitals and you would never see them again because of the protocol at that time. Family members were not allowed in there.
Mm-hmm.
Not get anywhere near the burial site. They had to be like 500 feet away from where they were burying the people, so you never had any confirmation if that was actually your family member they were burying.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people during that time actually didn't, at least what we observed where we were, didn't die from COVID. They died from anxiety because they had pre-existing conditions like heart problems, like high blood pressure, diabetes, and there was so much fear that was put into people about what was going on, and so much disinformation that if somebody got sick or you sneezed, all of a sudden it was panic. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you're saying, where everybody was like watching everybody else and they were all reporting on, oh, I think so-and-so down the way there might have the flu or something. And then next thing you know, the authorities were showing up at their house and they would disappear. So if you got sick, you would literally hide. You would hide because if anybody found out that you were actually sick,
were they
would
taken into
actually.
hospital?
Yes. If somebody found out there was yes, created a hotline here in Honduras where if you knew of somebody that was sick, you could report them, and then the authorities would go to that person's house.
Weird.
That's snitching.
Yeah. And people
Yeah.
were literally disappearing. I'll give you a couple of examples. There was towards the middle end of the pandemic, when things were starting to lighten up a little bit. We were able to go back to work, but everybody was separated. You couldn't leave your office or anything. And now they were giving, you would go to the morgue and they would give you the coffin,
A body.
but you were not allowed to open it. It was all wrapped up in plastic, and there were these signs on it, and of course families would do it, of course. And there were any number of things, and this was on the news here. Coffins were empty.
Okay.
Coffins were empty. And there was another case where, this is going to make Claudia laugh, and I wish I could say this was made up, but you can't make this up. And it was, I forgive me, Father, for laughing about this, but I mean, it was so comical. It was tragic at the same time, but just the absurdity of it. Okay. There was a family on the north coast of Honduras, a city called Ceiba. And Ceiba, majority of the people there are Afro descendant. Okay, so they're slaves that were brought to Honduras by the Spanish, and that's where they've settled. They've settled on the islands. They've settled on the coastal areas. So the majority of the people in Ceiba are black. Okay, black families, very very humble, poor families. And one of their family members died. They went through all the paperwork. They got the coffin, and they decided, the hell with it, we're going to open it up. They cut the plastic, they open it up. Guess what they find inside? This tall, blonde-haired
White guy.
German national who was blonde hair, like middle-aged. No, I know. I'm sorry
I'm
for the
waiting for
cliche.
my laughter. Look here. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm waiting
I
for
know.
my laughter. Where's my laughter?
And I'm sorry for the pardon. I didn't mean to make a
Swedish.
stereotype, but this guy had blonde hair, but he happened to be he was a German national, but he was a foreign resident in Honduras, and he had passed away from whatever reason. And this is a black family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they open the casket and
The
they show the
coffin.
pictures. They're like,
Oh,
who is
God.
this? Who is this
Yeah.
guy? And so they had the big scandal. They had to go find, this was, whatever his name was, Gunther or something. And so they never found, where is our family member? No idea. It's like, how did they ever, like, they just assume that, they gambled on, like, the morgue, the forensics, just, we're going to make a gamble that, let's just hope they don't open the box. We're just going to give them a box. Yeah, it's heavy enough. There's a body in it. Hopefully they'll believe us. Well, they called their bluff, and they opened the casket, and here's this European gentleman in there. And they never found the... So, yeah.
What do you
Anyway,
think, what do you think was happening then?
well, what was happening in Honduras was, and this is not just here, this was in many countries in Central South America, we were getting lots of foreign aid, particularly from the United States, England. Also, they had some ties with, at that time, that government had some ties with Russia. So we were getting vaccines from all of those countries. We were getting financial aid for the medical sector. And so that was based on the number of infected people and the number of deaths that were occurring that was contributed to COVID. So, of course, what did the government say? Hey, they got into cahoots with the doctors. Anybody that comes in here, just say it's COVID. They're not going to know anyway, because there's this protocol. Nobody can get near the COVID sector, in the hospital. The COVID, the what do they call it? The COVID wing. Nobody can go in there. Nobody will be able to confirm it anyway. And you're the doctors. You're the, experts. So you sign off on it. That's COVID. And we get subsidies from the U.S. based on how bad the pandemic is here. So it was yeah.
I can confirm this. What you're talking about, Colin, So if you remember when Colin Powell died, he died of COVID, but before that he was already had a form of cancer he was dealing with. So he was dealing with cancer, and then so they said he died of COVID. So it was like what you're talking about. They might have other things. But what they documented was the COVID. And even if they didn't have COVID, the story was they would put COVID on there anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And the story was that the doctors got a kickback for documenting the death certificates saying COVID.
Absolutely.
And it's very hard to confirm that or disconfirm that. And everybody was talking about it. I remember that very, very well. Hearing about these coffins is wow. Oh my God, wow.
Yes. Yep.
That is so hard to have that happen to a
Yeah.
family.
In fact, I'm gonna go back in the archives and look for that
Very disrespectful.
that particular case of the Black family. I'm gonna go find that article. That was crazy.
I was reading about the I believe it was in Oklahoma bombing. So when they were gathering body parts for that, even later on when they found a certain leg that belonged to a certain person, they opened up a different casket to make sure that that particular leg went into the coffin of that particular person. I mean, that's a thing that should be expected to honor,
Should be done.
those that have crossed over and stuff. Yeah. So to hear about this in such disregard is devastating. I can't even imagine how that affected the families.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, can I just intervene as chairperson for a moment?
Please,
Can
your
we do
show.
an echo check? Is Linda coming through all right?
Yeah.
Claudia says yes.
Yes.
Peps, you say okay.
Yes.
Good. That's good news.
I'm not hearing an echo at all, but I don't know what the audience thinks.
No. Is
I
there
still got
any
an
echo
echo,
coming
but
through
don't
anywhere
worry about
else,
it.
or do we sound kind of okay?
You
Claudia's
sound
giving
good.
us a thumb up. Okay, thank you very much.
You
Just-
look good
just
as well,
checking.
Matt. Just telling you. Hey, Colin, did you guys get the vaccine out
Yes.
there?
In Honduras.
Did you take it?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I don't think it did
Yeah.
anything.
I didn't.
though.
And this was speaking of. I made the mistake of talking about that on my channel, and boy, that was
Oh, right.
another one that really caused a uproar.
I'll take it back.
And a response from people that was, and I, what I explained to people was, it was very unfair. Both sides have been very unfair about how people have been treated. Both people that didn't get the vaccine and those that got it. Both sides were very unfair because lots of people, because it was a political issue, it became politicized. And the people that got the vaccine were gloating about it. Oh, we got the vaccine, and you anti-vaxxers, and this and that, and they were shunning people because of that. The people that didn't get it were saying, "Oh, we, didn't get the mark of the beast," and they were shunning those that did. Yeah, and it just. So what I'm trying to find the middle road here. And what I told people when I made these videos, I took them down because I got so many nasty comments. It was unbelievable, and I felt really bad about it. I told people that you have to understand that each individual person had to make a decision based on their circumstances. Okay? You can't judge anybody for getting it or for not getting it. I don't blame anybody. Had I had the circumstances, I would have never gotten it. Never. But I look at my own circumstances. I'm living in a very poor country. I had a very good job by the grace of God. And especially at that time, you had one of two choices. Of course, it's always a choice. Of course it is. Everybody had a choice. Okay? But my choice that I was faced with was, if you want to keep working, get the vaccination. Otherwise, there's the door. And
Yeah.
Same in
I've got,
Bethel.
I've got, my wife, I've got her 4 children, my stepchildren here with me that at that time were younger, that I was supporting, that were going to school, and our house, our home that we're paying for. And I had to make that decision for myself to protect my family, because if I lost that job during the pandemic, I was not getting another job. At a
Makes
different
sense.
set of circumstances, at a different time, maybe yes. But at that time, there was absolutely no industry going on here. There was no work at all. We were one of the few places, actually, the place that I worked at, which was a private school, was a bilingual school. We were one of the few places that continued to work. Thank goodness.
Wow.
But the downside of that was we had to get the vaccine. So what happened? I sacrificed myself. I put myself on the chopping block. Nobody else in my family got it, but I did, because nobody was going to school, nobody was going outside. So I said, okay, listen, guys, here's what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to become of this. I don't know what the consequences are going to be, but I'm going to get the vaccine because I need to keep working. I need to keep providing. So I'm going to subject myself to this experiment.
So
I
you
knew
were
what was going on.
suspicious even back then.
Oh yeah, no. I knew everything that was going on. I knew this was we were guinea pigs. They had no idea what they were doing. There was no time to,
This is a,
no time
What you've
whatsoever.
done-
And
what
is
you've
there a
done-
before and after? Yes. Yes, it had effects on me. Yes, in my health, my mental health. Yes.
And you only had one. Oh, you had 3.
so what you've done is heroic. And had Corona been 10 or 15 years earlier, when I was a single mother of children with my own house, self-employed, tutor, I would have taken the vaccine and sacrificed my life to protect my family. In my case, so therefore I can fully understand you. Forgive me for what I'm going to say next. But luckily, in my case, it happened when it happened. My children left the house, 3 had finished their studies, 1 was studying. I was still working as a tutor. And to me, this was Armageddon. This was Revelation 3, the letter to the Philadelphians. And what I did in Germany,
The witnesses did.
what I did in Germany after being in the fellowship for 30 years, not knowing that Jehovah's Witnesses don't go from door to door anymore. I stood on the marketplace. I was holding the demonstrations. I was with my Bible in hand, holding the speeches on the demonstrations, teaching the people Armageddon, the end of the world, and 666, and not to take part in the world by tribulation, and saving our soul and our lives. And every Monday for 2 years, we went all along the town, me at the front with my candle of light, protecting the whole world. And I thought all Jehovah's Witnesses were doing the same. No, they didn't go. They went for the vax. And I didn't. And ever since, I don't work anymore. It's good money that I don't earn anymore. But I did my calculations and realized I don't actually need the money anymore. I've earned it already. It's okay. But without Corona, I would have keeping going on this hamster wheel. And afterwards, with these Jehovah's Witnesses came to my daughter vaccinated because I see he was vaccinated. And then I realized I was more Jehovah's Witnesses than all of them together. More Jehovah, divine of mourner. I would have given my life on the one speech. It was a day when they said by this date would be vaccinated, ill or dead. And I said at midnight, time is up. If these policemen next to me, if these policemen want to kill me tonight or pick me up for vaccination, shoot me. I don't care. I die for my God. I die for my soul. Shoot me. No, we would never do this. And ever since, people treat me. No, nowadays it's getting better. But for a long time, the vaccinated treated us like Jews. I'm also Jewish by origin, so I don't care. I'm a Jewish Jehovah's Witness in Germany. And I'm an unvaccinated Jewish Jehovah's Witness in Germany. I still don't care. But they treated us so badly. And in my family, one recently died, 29 years old. stroke, no, and a heart, myocarditis. But we had various cases of cancer. 3 of my daughters had cancer. All my children are vaccinated. Family members died. In my family, there's death all around, except for me. I never had a cold. I'm healthy for more than 6 years. I don't go to a doctor. I'm primarily health insured. I could. I simply didn't take the vax because I thought it was what I was supposed to do as a former Jehovah's Witness. And meanwhile, they all went for. But in your situation, I understand. Had it been 15 years ago, I would have given the Jesus sacrifice like you did. But I wouldn't have given it 3 times. Just always think 3 times. What was it, Paul or Peter? 3 times before the cockerel would make a sound.
Peter.
3 times is always a bad sign. Twice maximum, never 3 times.
You should have watched the broadcast during COVID, Claudia. They were telling everybody.
I watched it. I watched it. Yes, in the last half year I watched it. And I was completely shocked how people could do this. I mean, the latest then I would have left Jehovah's Witnesses. Because it goes against everything they taught us. I mean, I once refused the blood transfusion when I was 20-something. Why should I take the vax? I wasn't dying. But it's another story.
Well, I can tell you guys after that happened. I got someone visiting me here right now. Ah, get out of the way.
Kitty, kitty.
He's always cats. Cats are the same everywhere.
Cats and coffee.
Yeah. After the first shot that I got the shot, and first thing I did, I was still my arm was still bleeding. I walked right across the street. They set up. Well, it was actually. It was very creepy. It was very reminiscent of almost like being herded on the trains for the concentration camps, because they set up in the parking lot of a stadium all of these tents, and they were playing music, like happy, this music for everybody to go and get the shots like it was some party or something. And so I went, got the shot. As soon as we were done, because they told us right away, you got to wait so long. Don't drink alcohol. Don't. And I was just like, fuck it. Walked right across the street to a petrol station, bought a 6-pack, and I drank it right there 5 minutes after getting the shots. And it was fine. Nothing happened. I was like, I went home. The second and third shots, I was deathly ill. When I got the second and third ones, got very ill. And the funny thing about it was, here's my job. So the owners, it's a private school, so the owners who are American, they're demanding that we go and get these shots to keep working. And then when I got sick from the effects of the shot, they were like, yeah. What's going on? Is that me? Who is it? Oh.
Now it stopped, yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, that's not me. My microphone. That's weird. Okay, anyway, so
Colin, you sound all right.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, because I disconnected my microphone and I still heard the sound.
It was funny. It was quite funny, I think.
Yeah. So here they are demanding that we get this shot, and then when I got sick from the effects of the shot, they're texting me and saying, "Oh, but you need to come in and work though." And I said, "No." I said, "No, I'm not coming into work." I said, you are telling me that I had to get this shot, and we have no idea what the effects of this are. We have no idea. They're testing this on us. So it was just evil. It was evil what was going on at that time. And after that, my mental health started to deteriorate just exponentially. I've had issues my whole life. I've battled with depression and other things, but I've learned to manage it. But after that, things were getting worse and worse to the extent of where it was like something psychologically in me changed, that I was not able to tolerate certain situations. And that came to a head this year, 2nd of March, that I ended up walking away from that job. Because whatever system they're wanting to put into place now, this new order, I was not able to go along with it. And I was at that job for 8 years.
To give
And
you some
after the
support,
shots,
forgive me.
I'm
You have
sorry?
to use something to make your blood thinner, like
Yeah,
aspirin, for instance, or CDL, chlordioxide solution. And then you should try to use dandelion. If you see dandelions, eat the root, eat the dandelions. You can afford a lot of money buy especially expensive dandelion potions. A lot of dandelion, nicotine plaster. Although you're not a smoker, nicotine plaster helps. Tomatoes also have nicotine. But important is to keep your blood thin. Very important.
yeah,
And there are methods to
yeah,
get rid of it. With dandelion, you can basically, how do you call it? The special sand, chlorella, I think it's called chlorella, to depoison yourself. You have to get it. You can get it out of your system. And with your
yeah,
mobile phone, you can detect it. Once you can't detect the number anymore, you got rid of it. But don't give up and don't think God can forgive you.
yeah,
You need your own action, and the truth will make you free. And the truth is, you need to get the stuff out of your system, so we can protect you,
yeah.
so we can save you. Forgive me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Ah, heck with it. I might just have to start smoking again. I used to smoke. Maybe that'll help.
Actually, smoking protects us from all these chemtrails, and it was a protector against corona. Vaccinated people who were smoking couldn't get corona, and also were immune against the vaccination. So if you
Yeah,
took nicotine and had a vaccination, you're on the safe side. Or nicotine plaster. You don't have to start smoking. Take these plasters, invented in Germany.
oh, the patches. Yeah, yeah. I had in May May of last year. I had a suicide attempt, and which was very, very uncharacteristic of me. And the odd thing about it was, and scary thing, honestly, was that there was absolutely no preamble to it, no lead up, no, thought of it, or idealization of it, or it just happened out of nowhere. And it was so fast how it happened, because what happened was, because of a lot of the stress I was having at my job as a teacher, and this is kind of global. Teachers are really going through it today because of the way kids and parents are, and I was having a lot of stress, and what happened was the school, the owners that hired me, that I started with, who ironically and quite coincidentally are also from Minnesota, where I'm from. And not only that, they are originally from a town that's about an hour away from where I grew up. So not only are we from the same state, we're from the same region. So we knew each other like instantly. We were like family. And they retired a couple of years ago, and their kids started taking over. Their kids have a totally different vision and outlook of the way they were going to start taking the school. Totally different outlook on discipline, totally different outlook on everything. And it was not going well. It was not going well. And the kids were starting to get more out of hand. Discipline was getting worse. and it was quite stressful. So last year I was having lots of stress, so I decided, you know, it was affecting me like health wise, and I said I'm gonna go have a doctor's appointment and see if maybe they can give something to me to just help me with this anxiety a little bit. So I went in there. Here it's quite easy. Went in, had a 5-minute doctor's appointment. You know, said, hey, this is what's going on. I'm a teacher.
Forgive me.
Yeah.
I'm reading in the comments that people have echo problems. I always turn my micro off when I don't talk. If everybody turns his micro off when he doesn't talk,
Can
we
you hear?
shouldn't have echo problems. We didn't
I missed a lot of
Hold
your
on.
story, Colin, but it sounds pretty bad.
Okay. Well, I have the main chat on YouTube. I have that muted, so I don't know. I'm not sure where the echo is coming from.
It could be. Is it coming from me?
It's not new personally.
You sound all right, Pips.
I'll do it.
Aborticus is saying
Yeah, you
whatever
sound fine.
adjustment that was made sorted the echo out. So I think Claudia's advice about, you know, turn off,
Something
turn on
happened.
is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That
did
could be.
notice earlier, I don't want to say names, some of the people who've been online today had kept their micro on. And these
Yeah,
things cause
that's
echo.
fine.
So this is just a humble suggestion of
Okay.
a minor female person from Germany.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all, Claudia.
Women,
That's good
stay
advice.
quiet in the congregation.
Yeah.
Pips, you,
No, I was
you
just
actually sound
saying,
good now, eh?
Yeah, you sound very good.
Pips,
No, I was just saying,
just
giving
say something. I
some-
just want to monitor it.
Testing 1 2 1 2. Is that echoing, Matt?
It's just
Yeah.
catching up. I just want to hear if you're
Yeah.
still coming through all right, Pips.
Yeah.
Pips,
I can hear
you
the
sound
echo.
good.
No. When our Birmingham man, I can't remember names since I left Jehovah's Witnesses. Our Brummy, since the Brummy spoke, I heard in the background my voice, so there was an echo.
There's an echo.
It seems to have improved now. Aborticus is saying
Yeah,
that
that's-
it's a lot better, and I've also just checked on another
Okay.
device, and it sounds like it's stable now for whatever
We
reason.
are Jehovah's Witnesses. We want to be perfect. Human perfection is our target and goal, and nothing less is
Especially-
enough. We are better than them, so we have to be even more perfect.
especially with the sound.
Unfortunately, she's right. We do suffer from this perfection thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we're getting better.
So yeah, I went to see a doctor. It was just a day, you know, walked in and got an appointment right there in the morning and went in to see this doctor. Okay, what's going on? It was a lady, and I said, well, I'm a teacher, and I've just been really battling with my students, and it's been very stressful, and I've, you know, got problems sleeping. I'm stressed out. I'm anxious. You know, she's like, okay, writes me out okay, that was it. No, didn't touch me, never checked anything. Just, here you go. Yeah, and she gave me which I was really surprised. She gave me a prescription for clonazepam, which is it's an anxiety drug. Sometimes it's called Klonopin, sometimes it's called. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe she actually gave this to me. I thought she was going to give me some generic. It's like, this is the good stuff, you know. This stuff is like zombie central immediately. You take one of those, they're very, very
Is it
strong.
addictive, Colin?
I'm sorry?
Is it addictive?
Yes.
Be careful.
Yes, extreme. Yeah, well, I don't take it anymore. This is a one-time deal.
Right.
And so I actually sat on them for a couple of days because I was scared to take them. I was like, boy, I know that what I'm getting into if I start taking these. But I did, and I started off. I'm gonna take. Oh no, what is this? The
Finger mouse.
yeah, it's the Italian curse.
Yeah, it's not
I was
that
trying
far.
to say, I'm still there. I'm still listening. That was what I was trying to say.
So, like I said, literally, this was something that and this was all after the shots and everything, where my mental health just went down just quickly, and just how quickly it happened, and it wasn't anything I thought about, it wasn't anything I planned. It was just all of a sudden, one day when I had anxiety, I took one of the pills. Like, okay, yeah, all right, this works pretty well. I took it and I was like, you know what? The hell with it. I'm going to take all 30 of them.
What?
And I did in one shot. Yeah, which was like 3 times the amount needed to stop your heart. And after that, that's all I remember until a day or so later. I woke up in the hospital. Had no memory whatsoever of anything after that until probably 2 or 3 days later. I have no memory at all of what happened, how I got there. Evidently, I was conscious, but at some point, but I have no memory whatsoever. And then for about 2 weeks after that, I was just like in this like drunk state, like I was just intoxicated. And so it was scary in the sense of, like I said, before I got the shots, and I've struggled with depression and things my whole life. Never once in my life, never crossed my mind to try to commit suicide. Never. And I could have had opportunities. I had medication in the past and things like that, but never crossed my mind. And all of a sudden, it was just like an impulse, just boom, just like that, out of nowhere.
Do you think that's connected to the vaccine? Carl?
I think it has something to do with it.
I've heard that there's something called long form COVID. So it's you end up having it longer than whatever the standard is. And when someone does find themselves with long form COVID, depression and suicide ideation is involved with that. And I found that out through somebody through Facebook, because he was in the hospital because of this too, So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. No, I believe
How
it.
are you now, Colin?
Long COVID is actually
No,
in America.
No. Right now, guys, it's like nothing ever happened.
Good.
It was just like that moment, and who knows? I think really the COVID in itself, I think what COVID does is far beyond just like a type of flu. I think what it does is it potentiates any particular issue that you might have, and really kind of aggravates that, because but I kind of look at it as thank goodness, because I ended up leaving that job, and out of that kind of feverish cloud-minded state that I was in after I got out of the hospital, that's where these ideas for the books that I wrote came from. Just kind of out of nowhere, just kind of it all came together, and it was like the funny thing about it is that was probably one of the factors that led to me having to leave my job, because it was an absolutely insatiable, irresistible need to write these stories. There was absolutely nothing else I could concentrate on. I didn't care about anything else. I didn't care about, I was writing during classes. I was writing in any moment, day and night, just like it was there, and I had to get this out of me, and so it was just strange. The whole thing was.
And that came on after you took those drugs.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
long COVID is in America and in Europe a phrase for the side effect of the vaccination. Only in Germany and Austria, long COVID is regarded as a longer form of COVID in illness. But I thought you got Kennedy as your health minister or something in America, and
No,
there, at least in
unfortunately.
Germany, Kennedy is something in America, and he's from the Red Dragon line. He's a count.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes, that's a dynasty, no doubt.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is now, but at the time that he's talking about, he had not yet become our
No, not at that
person
time.
of health. Yes,
Because of
you're
this
right,
long
though.
COVID thing. But it is in America at least known that Corona itself, the illness itself, is a bioweapon. And the medication against it is another bioweapon that is known. But with any kind of antidepressants, there is always the risk. You can read the side in Europe, in Germany, you've got these long side packs. You get some tablets and you get this booklet of what can go wrong when you take them. Better don't take them. So
Yeah.
I don't take them.
Sometimes
But
the remedy is
with
worse.
many antidepressants, the side effect is suicidal thoughts.
Well, of course, yes.
So this might be due to the medication. And the other
Oh
thing
no,
you don't.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think that because I wasn't taking any antidepressants. It was just because of
And-
the
and
stress
many
I had. Yeah.
The
And many people-
anti-anxiety.
And many people eat
Try
food in the soup.
meditation, Colin. That's what I'm starting to do.
Yeah,
Like
I was
mindfulness.
actually about the last year or so I was on a treatment which was very good actually. And then I had to I was kind of foreseeing what was coming with my job, and I knew that it was a very good treatment, but it was expensive. And so, we don't have health insurance here or anything, so I kind of started to, I had to wean myself off of it because I wasn't going to be able to afford it. And this treatment I was on, if you left it cold turkey, it was quite disastrous. It would really throw you through a loop. So you had to stop it like little by little. So right now I'm not taking any treatments or anything, but it does help.
Try
If you get the right one.
meditation.
That's
Meditation, not medication.
yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Like
but now, like I said,
mindfulness.
it's I've been fine. I've been fine. Since
me
then,
give
it
you
was
some
just
advice.
it was-
Some advice on depression. Aggression goes outwards. Depression goes inwards. We were taught as Jehovah's Witnesses always to forgive, to show the other cheek. We were never taught to show our aggression. You can't do this to me. So we always had to eat it up in ourselves. And this causes depression. So in future, when you have a moment of depression, jogging helps, bodybuilding helps, physical exercise helps, singing, screaming helps. Do not scream, sing rather. But try to get the built-up aggression inside you out of you. Same goes for you, Matthew. Matthew, you always seem so calm and so relaxed, considering how long you've been within, and you still are Jehovah's Witness. You also have somewhere deep inside of you these depressions. This is why you can't sleep. You have to learn to let it out, to let all this out that eats you up from the inside. Go jogging, go running, walk extremely fast, that also helps. Do physical exercise, not too much, just some. And if you take some water bottles and then do bodybuilding with them, it doesn't need money. But you need to get, or sing. Don't sing the Christmas song or the Jehovah's Witness songs. Sing something. Tune to A-I-E-O-U is all you need. It's the vibration, as loud as you can, in all kinds of different sounds. Let the inner aggression out, and you can sleep again, Matthew, and you don't have to kill yourself again. But they told us as Jehovah's Witnesses to be sheep, but you can't permanently eat all the wolves. Then you've got all the wolves inside, and you have to let these wolves out again. And then you are ever such a shining being. But these things you have to learn. Forgive me for saying this. I'm just a woman. You are a man. I'm below you. And I'm not wearing a cloth right now. But
Claudia, you're very welcome to the open circle, and we appreciate your input and your way of seeing things. So thank you very much for that. I think you know my policy.
Forgive us, Matthew, for hijacking your program.
You were all invited here, and I'm grateful for your presence.
Thanks, Matt.
And it sounds like our sound is sorted out for whatever was done.
Was it me again, Matt?
If I monitor it on the other stream, I don't hear any echo at all. Yeah, so
And we need to
whatever was
mention
done,
Aborticus. Aborticus keeps on writing so many nice things. Hello, Aborticus. I'm glad you made it. Greetings from Germany.
yeah, Bordigus, thank you very much. We do see you in the comments there. Who else is with us? We've got a few that I think it's us.
I just wanted to say goodbye, and I just wanted to bring that letter up, and then we got in conversation. But
Linda James, that was a good letter. I fear, though, that the echo was unfortunately letting us down.
Oh, was I echoing? Okay.
No, you weren't. It was perfect.
There was some kind of
very well.
Yeah, there was some kind of issue. I don't know what it was. Linda James, is your
can
show
send it
on
to you.
tomorrow or not?
Tonight it will not be on.
It's not going to be on.
Right now it's like 5 o'clock my time. So I'm going to go out with friends tonight and do some karaoke.
She's having a party. She
Okay, so I can sleep in.
That's right. That's right.
That sounds great.
That sounds fun.
I made a little flyer that says you and I are not doing the show tonight.
Well, listen, I look forward to the show, but I also look forward to the reprieve. It's been a bit rough.
Okay.
Linda, have fun. Go for it. Full fun. Pretend you had never been a Jehovah's Witness. Go for it, you know.
Thank you.
Go well, Linda James, and we'll check you when we check you.
Okie dokie.
Have a good night.
Yeah,
Thank
go
you.
well.
And Linda, I always try to come on your Saturday show, Sunday show, but I usually sleep too long. It's to me very early in the morning. I get up at 9 and you're finished.
Oh, I understand. No problem.
But we had good fun as usual, Linda James. So thank you very much. That was important information. Thank you.
It's because I wasn't there.
What? I missed that.
Hey, thanks Colin as well for sharing all that story.
Are we sort of winding down now, folks?
Well, Colin, yes,
so.
I deeply feel for you, but do not give up. And it sounds crazy, but forgive yourself. You did a heroic act in sacrificing yourself for your family. At the same time, it doesn't need to be an eternal sacrifice. There are methods to get rid of what your body's taken in. You can get it out again, and you'll still be the hero, but you don't have to give the complete sacrifice. And we're here to help you. Go look here. This is a little hug, a baby hug.
You're looking well, mate. Anyway.
Thank you. No, it's in the past. It's over. You know, so it is what it is. We did what we had to do at that time, and you know, such is life. And here we are now.
Pick yourself back up, haven't you? Just carry on.
That's right. Yeah, that's what the measure of a person is. Because in life, falling down is a part of life. It's about how we get up and keep going on. So I think a lot of that is my family. We have a quite a strong background, and so actually on my father's side of the family, interestingly enough, my family immigrated from Germany, and so and we have documentation about that, and that's where the Zafke name comes from. There's actually a town in Minnesota where all of those people immigrated, and they were farmers. And on my mother's side, my grandmother was actually, well, back when Yugoslavia existed. She was from Yugoslavia, and her parents immigrated from Yugoslavia, and then she was the first generation born in the United States. And interestingly enough, I don't.
Do you speak Croatian?
Some words in German as well, because the funny thing is, I don't know why, because this generation of people, they never talked about anything. They never talked about the past. They never talked about their life. They were very, very hermetic about those things. My grandma was very hard to get any information out of her. So the only thing I can extrapolate is that where they lived was close to Germany, because my grandmother spoke German. I never heard.
Then you're from Slovenia. Slovenia, the Donauschwaben.
Yes,
the
yes,
Donau
yes,
is the river, and Schwaben is Swabia, Swabia. I don't know the English word for it. And they were also there to leave the area because they were not Catholic or Protestant, was something. If you are of German ancestry, there was always a reason to make you leave your home, your country, your money, your house. They always found reasons to get rid of us. They did this to us for 500 years now. German and Jewish is, by the way, the same. But our Jews. Not the Ukrainians is the new form of Jewish. But
we
German
never knew.
Jewish
We
is,
never
by
knew
the
why.
way, the same.
Yeah, we never knew why. But when I remember when I was young,
money and brain, and freedom. Freedom is not wanted.
When my parents were working, a lot of times my grandmother would watch us, and when her sister would come over, her sister would stop by and visit her. So yeah, we picked up just a few phrases and.
So if you want to know about your past, if you want to know more about your past, contact Matthew. He's got my email address. I'm deeply into the past of our German-speaking ancestry. I'm Bohemian. We were deported from Bohemia, and you've given me already enough signs. There are Facebook groups of people finding their ancestry. So if you're interested, I'm for free. I cost no money. Like a Jehovah's Witness, I'm for free. I'm only helpful.
Okay.
I'm one of these nice people. Good. So Matthew,
thank you.
Matthew wants to close up.
I'm going to go.
Wants to close up. Matthew
I think you've all done brilliantly. Thank you very much for
Matthew,
everything.
I'm giving my last word. Gorgeous, Matthew.
Oh,
I promise you never
now
to
you
say this
get the
online.
last word.
But my last word. You're very gorgeous. But so are the other two
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Claudia. That's very
all
kind.
three of you.
And thank you for everything
although
that.
I never go for free because of Rex. You're really gorgeous people, and you're warm-hearted people, and you're lovely people. And never let anybody take that away from you. And thank you, Matthew, for being your guests. Unfortunately, I didn't bring flowers. Next time, I'll bring you flowers.
Sounds good, Claudia.
Gorgeous.
Promise is a credit, eh?
Thanks, Matt.
And
Thanks,
thank you, Colin. And we appreciate your sacrifice and service and your ongoing sacrifices. So thank you very much, Colin. And I can tell you my feeling. I started off this show feeling really terrible. What's that, Claudia?
Have you noticed all this show? I've always been drinking from the same stuff. It never goes. It's magic. You can drink.
Okay. Thanks
for
that.
3 weeks. It never goes empty.
All right.
That's true.
Yeah. So, Colin, thank you very much for lifting the mood with your presence, and Peps, also thank you very much as well. We plugged our way through that and got through the technical difficulties, whatever the improvement was, whether it was Claudia's advice or it was my side or whoever's side. I don't know. It seemed to improve, so that's really good. That's a good step forward.
Mhm.
Pips, you happy over there? Okay. Well, thank you also for coming on, Pips. We appreciate that, and glad that you were with us. So, another week begins. Thank you very much for
Indeed.
making the open circle as open as it is. We want to say to our audience, thank you very much for joining in. Aborticus, we see you there, so thank you very much. J. Mars, John, thank you very much also for the news update. Peps, go well. Hope you get some good rest in. We also want to do our disclaimer. We say that this is friends healing from spiritual abuse. And so we use essential critical thinking when examining the survivor testimony or the survivor discussion that comes through. We use the working thesis, have the antithesis for synthesis, and we use healthy skepticism on the show as well. So that's always important to use it, because we're also working things out in our discussion. We're trying to work out what is what, as Gail, that you might be familiar with, says we were sold a rotten bill of goods. So now we've got to try and establish, how do we engage the critical thinking in order to navigate and in order to not just survive, but surpass the abuses that we faced. So, Claudia, thank you very much. Please go well. Go with blessings. And the same for you, Colin. Thank you very much for being so generous with your time and with your support. We also thinking of you and thinking blessings must come your way. And so we say good night to everybody, or whatever particular time zone. We appreciated Sheila's presence, of course. She was quite quiet there, but her presence definitely felt. And we enjoyed her coming through as well. Linda James, it was nice to have Linda James on. And of course, we wish her some good recreation. I think it's well earned. So to everybody who's tuned in, please go well. And anybody who comes on as well, we are grateful for you being here. Remember that we, or I, okay, the reason for us being here is because you are important to us. Go well. Bye.
Did you hear, darling dear? Rules are sacred, obedience still dead. Left intact, my dignity act. Shift the blame. Shift the blame for the fame, for the shame. institutional preserve over individual welfare toast. It's not abuse, it's protocol. Disagree, well that's emotional. Uphold the frame, don't break the shrine. The system's pure, you cross the line. Ducky do, it's true. Institutional preserve over individual welfare toast. So here's our jam, it's spread with pride. The individuals, Christ on the side. Preservation now available in every nation. Institutional preserve over individual welfare toast. Institutional preserve over individual welfare toast.
Welcome to the manor, shadows dance a queen. Where darkness meets human, the enigma you see. I'm deadpan, the master of this twisted domain. Come on in, join the madness, let's play this wicked game. In the matter of mysteries, the secrets never rest. A charming with sarcasm, trying to test. Cause rock and be the pop away, we laugh and sway. Welcome to the man, where deadpan rules okay. Behind these walls, a world unknown, where laughter hides the pain, the paradoxical existence, where love and darkness reign, and I'll keep you guessing. Never revealing my true face, but I'll serenade you with riddles. In the matter of mysteries, with secrets never rest. I'll charm you with my sarcasm and put your mind to the test. With a rocky beat upon the wits, I'll make you laugh and jest. Welcome to the matter, with deadpan rules okay. I'm deadpan, quiet deadpan. Welcome to the matter, where deadpan rules okay. Welcome to the manor, where laughter lights the way.
Welcome to the Grand Compliance Tribunal, where the rules are made up The charges are retroactive and abeyance is punishable by excommunication and painful death by any way possible.
You'll screw you. Our copyright NDA trial begins now. Sinner.
Do what we say, shut up, obey. Way contradicts written yesterday, today. Ethics, elastic, mental gymnastics. Don't point it out, this disloyal, no doubt. Obey and suffer, you're sick, a sucker. Resistance, you're proud for crying out loud. Honey bunny, ethics, elastic, mental gymnastics. Till you die, we'll hang you dry for not spotting the trap and for eating our crap. Ooh. Your screams, darling dear, so rude to our ears. Ethics, elastic, mental gymnastics. Holy soul food. Set the world junk and pick at drink. You pop cause ethics, elastic, mental gymnastics. Yeah, ethics, elastic, mental gymnastics. Sing it, baby.
Left on the shelf, all by myself. The hand I was dealt, my dreams left on hold, lost in the fold, to never unfold. Stranded and lost, no bridge to cross. What a great cost. A heart full of pain, memories remain, drives me insane. Left in the rain, no one to explain the reasons for strain. I never see myself on the shelf, gathering dust and wasting away. Each day is a must. I will play with cards that were dealt, forging ahead, a free path on the
I'm yin, I'm yang, I'm both. I'm none, I'm blend. I shift through time, through space. I'm peaks, I'm valleys, I'm dawn, I'm dusk. I flow, I merge, all points between. Cause I'm black, I'm white, I'm white. I'm gray, I say, you say. I play, you play. Today, tonight. sight, in sight, in sight, yeah! I'm black, I'm white, I'm gray, I say, I play, today, tonight, in sight, below, be above, I'm joy, I'm love, I'm mad, never flat, I'm hue, full color, paid dues, suffer tension, trans-dimension, road to heaven, trucker, mother sucker, cause I'm black, I'm white, I say, I gray, they say, today, tonight, in sight. I'm yin, I'm yang, I'm both, I'm none, I blend, I shift through time, through space, I'm peaks, I'm valleys, I'm dawn, I'm dusk, I flow, I merge, all points between, cause I'm black, I'm white, I'm gray, I say, I play, today, tonight, in sight, I'm black, I'm white, I'm gray, I say, I play, today, tonight, in sight, below, be above, I'm joy, I'm love, I'm mad, never flat, I'm hue, full color, paid due, self-attention, trans-dimension, road to heaven, a trucker, mother sucker, cause I'm black, I'm gray, I say, I play, today, tonight, in sight. I'm yin, I'm yang, I'm both, I'm none, I blend, I shift through time, through space. I'm peaks, I'm valleys, dawn, I'm dusk, I flow, I merge, all points between. Cause black, I'm white, I'm gray, I say, I play, today, tonight, in sight, yeah! I'm black, I'm white, I'm gray, I say, I play, today, tonight, in sight, below, be above, I'm joy, I'm love, I'm never flat, I'm hue, full color, paid due, suffered tension, just as mentioned, road to heaven, a trucker, mother sucker.
I see the wreck, they ran from truth. Each open wound was called your proof. So I say sorry, you may resent, but I repent. I stayed inside, obeyed the lines, but every rule turned weaponized, so I say sorry. With clarity, safe transparency, I stood accused, by silence framed. They climbed the ranks, I bore the shame. So I say sorry to the trauma I now honor. I love you truly. So I say sorry with blood, not words. I take the weight, they always blurred. So I say sorry. I apologize. what tore, I restore. I do love you, I do indeed. By word, by your need. Sorry, 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 sorry.
In the heat of battle, every second counts. Dark Agent 7's aggression must be addressed. What's happening?
Enemy weeds knew our art and turned on truth when their obedience directive said erase it.
It reminds me of the concept of inauthentic living that psychologist Eric Fromm talked about, where people try to live up to certain societal expectations rather than being true to themselves.
Music from exile, truth in metaphor, join the resistance.
Open circle begins here. You can arrive as you are. Softly we arrive together. No masks, no expectations here. Kindness flows with gentle boundaries. Freedom breathes within this circle. Open circle, we are here. Open circle, drawing near. We unlearn what once confined us. We remember who we are. Kindness given without condition. Freedom held with quiet strength. Open circle, we are here. Open circle, drawing near.
safe to simply be. Take your time and find your voice, or just rest in quiet presence.
Hello. Good evening, good day, wherever you are in the world, on the planet. I send you my greetings. Very happy to have everybody here. So I say welcome, or we say welcome to the Open Circle. Saturday is a bit different normally from the Wednesday Open Circle, or the Open Circle that we have during the week. But this particular one is different, and that's intentional. I can tell you that the peninsula is rainy, and there are gusts of wind outside, and plants and trees blowing accordingly. But I want to also just say that things are a little bit different for another reason. It's intentional. The most candid, honest thing we can do is not push through at full strength, but to speak exactly from where we are. And today, tonight, or in the morning, wherever it is that we in our particular time zone, I just wanted to speak about something that many of us here comprehend, or you could say understand. Not just intellectually, but physically, emotionally, and spiritually. If you want to say psycho-spiritually, psychophysically, you know, that link. That's what is felt. Because what happens when you tell the truth inside a system that just cannot afford to hear it? There is an idea, often repeated, that if you see wrongdoing, especially something as serious as harm to vulnerable, to a child, you report it, and the system responds. The justice follows the truth. Evidence speaks, or what you think you have as evidence speaks. And this is where it develops, because many of us have lived something very different. We've learned that in certain closed systems, truth is not the highest value. I'm going to repeat that. In certain systems, I'm going to say, in my opinion, negative protection is, reputation is, continuity is. And when those things are threatened, not by wrongdoing itself, but by the exposure of wrongdoing. The one who speaks up can become the problem. So what happens? At first there might be silence. Time goes on. Then minimization. And that can come in all sorts of forms. Speaking over, I'm going to say slander, reputational damage. Okay? Not just accidental. I'm going to venture very deliberately done this way. And so that gets to not just minimization, but from minimization to reframing. So language begins to shift. You enter into a room where you believed there was some kind of principled love or some kind of principled respectability. That room, the language in that room shifts. If you want to say the spirit in that room shifts. So what was seen clearly becomes alleged. What was documented, even tied into with witnesses, becomes misunderstood. Oh, we must misunderstand this situation. What was urgent becomes procedural. What was directed, suddenly those persons that directed things become inaccessible, uncontactable. Emails get blocked. Telephone numbers get blocked. Pathways to communication get blocked. And so you could say gradually, sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's slow, but the whole process from how I'm describing here, to many I would believe is almost imperceptible. So reality itself begins to feel like, oh, it's slipping. Of course, I have commented, I'd say that times are changing, but let's just paint this picture, because what I'm describing comes to this deeper layer, and I don't want to muddy it too much. It's the social response. People have known for years. People have known for years. But those ones in the know affect the society. And so what you've grown up with, what you believe to be your tribe, your institution, your religion, your friends, your family, begins to withdraw. Not always with hostility, but with distance, with caution, with that subtle unspoken message. I'm going to say that message is, you've made things complicated. You've made things convoluted. And I'm going to go further. You are dangerous. And in systems where belonging is tied to agreement, where it's tied to survival, livelihood, and our children are very key here. They're the future. They are tied to our most intimate procreative power. our deepest psychology. But in this system where belonging is tied to agreement, where identity is tied to loyalty, where distance in your relationships grows, that very distance and carries enormous weight. Now this is where many people begin to feel something physically, not just emotional distress, but actual physical symptoms: exhaustion, nausea, disorientation. Because the body is trying to process something the mind may be struggling to reconcile. Did I? I did the right thing. So why does everything feel like it's collapsing? And this is the moment I want to pause on. I want to just take a pause, take a breath. Because if you, I say we, if we've experienced this, you're not imagining it. There's a real cost to ethical action inside a system or systems that are not structured to receive it. And that cost is often paid in relationship stability, health, and sometimes identity itself. So there's another layer that's harder to speak about, but deeply, deeply important. Even when evidence exists, what you believe is evidence, even when patterns are visible, I'm going to say evidence exists. Patterns are visible. Even when multiple voices align together, it often does not become evidence in the eyes of authority until a system with power recognizes it. A court seems to be the best that society has, unless we've got something else. An investigation, a formal ruling, and reaching that point requires resources, endurance, and support that many people simply do not have, especially after being socially and emotionally cut off. So what does that mean in practical terms? It means that many people who do the right thing end up standing alone at what we might call the city gates. Not inside the system anymore. Not fully supported outside of it yet. Carrying truth, but without amplification. And so here's the paradox, the catch. The very mechanisms that isolate the individual also protect the system from scrutiny. Because the fewer voices that remain visible, the easier it is to maintain the appearance of normalcy. And this is important. But it's not the end of the story. Because something else begins to happen. Slowly, almost invisible at first. Awareness begins to build across individuals, across communities, and across societies. And once that awareness reaches a certain threshold, systems that once seemed immovable begin to shift. We've seen this historically, not just in religious context, but across institutions. What was once denied becomes acknowledged. What was once protected becomes exposed. And what was once isolated becomes understood, comprehended as part of a larger pattern. But for the individual in the moment, that doesn't remove the cost. And I don't want to pretend, this is me getting tongue-tied. I want to pretend that it does. Because healing doesn't come from bypassing that reality. It just does not work. Doesn't. It comes from integrating it, from recognizing, yes, this happened. Yes, it cost me. Yes, it cost those who matter to me, or are interwoven to me, or those I swore to protect. And yes, it still matters, and it still mattered. So wherever it is that we are on the planet, today, tomorrow, now, tonight, in the morning, whatever time, rather than pushing toward answers, just want to open a different kind of space, if you allow it. It's a space where we can just acknowledge, okay, the courage it takes to see clearly, and the cost of speaking candidly, of speaking as honestly as we can, I say, using the truth wave. And the complexity of healing when both of those are true at the same time. So if you're here in our open circle, whether live or listening later, and you've walked this path in any form, please consider, I want you to consider something gently, not as pressure, but as a possibility. And that the very thing that isolated you may also be the beginning of connection. Not necessarily with the same people, not necessarily in the same structure, no, but with others who recognize what you've seen, who comprehend and understand what it costs, and who are no longer willing to pretend otherwise. There's the emperor. The emperor has no clothes. The emperor has no clothes. The emperor has no clothes. And from that place, something new can begin. Something not built on silence. I'm going to say coerced silence, not enforced by fear, but grounded in a shared reality and mutual respect. And so whether this open circle becomes a conversation or not, maybe we're just stunned. I don't know. or it's just simply a moment of quiet listening. I don't know, maybe I could put on music or something, I don't know. But whatever we do, it's all valid, because it's all part of the same process. So, thank you for listening. Bit of a short one. I'm going to say thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing. Shall we open the circle?
In the heat of battle, every second counts. Dark Agent 7's aggression must be addressed. What's happening?
Enemy weeds knew our art and turned on truth when their obedience directive said erase it.
It reminds me of the concept of inauthentic living that psychologist Erich Fromm talked about, where people try to live up to certain societal expectations rather than being true to themselves.
Music from Exile, Truth in Metaphor, Join the Resistance.